We almost didn't upload this video, but this stretch of Turkey felt too special to keep it to ourselves, especially because something adventurous is in store for day 11. So stay tuned. And it turned out to be one of the most unforgettable moments of our entire trip. Welcome back to the channel. This is day 10 and day 11 of our Turkey road trip, the final chapter of our coastal adventure. We left Antalya just after breakfast while the roads were still quiet and the Mediterranean shimmered behind us. As we drove further south, the mountains grew taller, the roads more winding, and the views more dramatic. Our first stop was Beldibi Beach. The water shifted between turquoise and sapphire as the light touched it, and public lounges were neatly arranged along the shore for travelers to relax after a swim. Since we had a long drive ahead of us, we chose not to go in. Instead, we walked along the pebbled shoreline, let the sea breeze wake us up, and captured countless photos and videos before getting back on the road. Next, we arrived at Cirali Beach, a quiet stretch of coastline tucked between the mountains and the Mediterranean, about an hour south of Antalya. The sun was high up, and so was our energy. Cirali feels wonderfully secluded, almost hidden away from the busier tourist spots. Long and untouched, the shoreline stretches endlessly with barely any noise except for the rhythmic sounds of the waves. There are public lounges available for visitors to relax after a swim, perfectly placed to soak in the view. We didn't go into the water here. Instead, we stretched out on the loungers, let the warmth of the sun sink in, clicked countless photos and videos, and simply enjoyed the stillness. It wasn't crowded, it just felt peaceful. After slowing down for a bit, we gathered our things and made our way to the next stop, ready for what the road still had in store. By the time we reached Adrasan Beach, it was lunchtime. Tucked beneath pomegranate trees, we found Lee Toast Pizza and Coffee Bungalow, a charming vegan spot that instantly felt welcoming. Wooden tables sat in the soft shade while sunlight filtered gently through the leaves. We enjoyed handmade pizza, freshly squeezed pomegranate juice, rich Turkish coffee, and of course, ayran. It was not just a meal, but a beautiful pause in the middle of our journey. After lunch, we made our way to Adrasan Beach. The coastline opens into a wide crescent-shaped bay lined with smooth pebbles instead of sand. The water was incredibly clear, allowing us to see each and every stone beneath the surface. Surrounded by green hills, the bay felt protected and serene, offering a calm contrast to the winding drive ahead. As evening approached, we reached Karaöz Beach, which turned out to be one of the most magical spots of the day. The sky slowly transformed from gold to amber, soft pink, and the sea reflected every shade like glass. There was no way we were leaving without taking a dip while the sun set. The beach had convenient changing rooms, which made it easy for us to quickly change and step into the water. There is also a wooden path extending into the sea, and we used it to dive in, which made the entire experience more fun. Swimming as the sky changed colors above us felt surreal. The water was calm, the light was soft, and for a few minutes, time felt suspended. We drove to Oludeniz during the night because that's what was convenient for us, but the day drive to Oludeniz is absolutely beautiful. Once the last light disappeared, we began our 5-hour drive to Oludeniz. The route grew narrower and increasingly curvy, especially in the darker mountain stretches. Although the distance did not seem extreme on the map, the drive demanded focus and patience. We finally reached Oludeniz close to midnight. Finding our hotel added a small layer of adventure because the road leading to it was a mud track not yet visible on Google Maps. Thankfully, the owner had sent us clear instructions, and after carefully following them, we arrived without any trouble. Since we had informed them about our late arrival, check-in was very smooth. Even in the dark, we could sense how special the property was. It offered a sweeping view of the Mediterranean, so we decided to sleep with the curtains open, eager to wake up the sunrise. We woke up to the soft light filling the room. The Mediterranean stretched endlessly in front of us. After the long drive the night before, this view felt like a reward. We enjoyed a traditional Turkish kahvaltı breakfast in the open dining overlooking the sea. Breakfast here is meant to be slow and savored. And that morning, we weren't heading to the beach. We were heading somewhere higher, much higher. It was time for the highlight of our trip and the sole reason we all drove all the way to Oludeniz. If you guys didn't know, Oludeniz is world famous for paragliding because of its unique geography. The iconic Blue Lagoon lies below while Badabag Mountain rises dramatically behind it. With stable wind conditions and a 2,000-meter launch height, it is considered one of the best paragliding locations in the world. For the best views, we recommend booking a midday slot because that is when the sun glistens beautifully over the sea. We drove directly to the provider's office, and from there, they transported us about 45 minutes up Badabag Mountain. For all 6 of us, the total cost was around $500, including the full photo and video package. After a thorough safety briefing, we were geared up and attached securely to our pilots. As we began running towards the edge of the cliff, the ground disappeared beneath our feet almost instantly. The first few seconds brought a rush of adrenaline, but that quickly transformed into calm as we floated above the Blue Lagoon in distance. For nearly 30 minutes, depending on the wind condition, obviously, we glided peacefully over one of the beautiful coastlines in the world. Once we landed smoothly near the beach, the entire process of receiving our photos and videos was surprisingly quick. The pilots transferred everything to us within minutes, making it effortless to relive the experience immediately. Even our parents thoroughly enjoyed the flight, proving that this activity truly is suitable for all ages. After our little adventure, we were back at the hotel. We changed into our swimsuits and headed to the property's private cove. We snorkeled around the rocks, spotted underwater life, and took turns diving into the crystal clear water. And the hours passed before we even realized it. In the evening, we drove down to Fateh market area where we found an Indian restaurant serving comforting and homely food. After dinner, we explored the lively streets and tried lokum, also known as Turkish delight, at a shop called Delight World and Gift. This is the only place where we found sugar-free lokum. The owner was incredibly kind and allowed us to try as many as samples before making our choices. By around 10 p.m., we returned back to the hotel because another early morning awaited us. The next day, we would drive towards Pamukkale to experience the dreamy white travertines and layers of history. And just like that, a coastal chapter of Turkey came to an end. However, this coastline gave us more than scenic views. It gave us winding roads, glowing sunsets, spontaneous swims, quiet sunrises, and the unforgettable feeling of flying above it all. Some places you visit, but others stay with you. And Turkey's coast will always stay with us. As our coastal chapter in Oludeniz comes to an end, the journey gently continues. From the timeless streets of Istanbul to the surreal skies of Cappadocia and the turquoise coastline of Antalya. We shared separate videos for Istanbul, Cappadocia and Antalya because each destination deserved its own space and its own story. Next, we headed to the dream-like white terraces of Pamukkale, where nature felt almost unreal and history quietly lingered in the background. After that, we walked through the ancient cities of Ephesus, exploring the ruins that have stood for centuries and will continue to stand long after us. And finally, we returned to Istanbul for one last evening before our flight home, completing a journey that began with excitement and curiosity and now ends with nothing but just gratitude. We will see you in the final chapter of our Turkey series. And if you're new here, we're so glad that you're here. Make sure to subscribe for thoughtfully crafted travel itineraries, practical tips, and meaningful adventures from around the world.